So I'm probably in the minority of people that liked Halloween 4 because it was fun, it was entertaining, it had some likable characters, even if it felt a little tired, it was never boring, and it did have a really creepy book ending if you look at the first, second, and fourth movie as a trilogy, but they had to keep going. Why? This is Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. At least that's what the poster says, because the actual title screen in the film does not feature that subtitle. But anyway, this movie came out a year after Halloween 4, and is pretty much the same movie. I mean, take the plot of Halloween 4, take Michael's motivation, and just strip this one of anything that made 4 enjoyable. The movie actually opens with a recap of Halloween 4, where Michael falls down the well, which actually turns out to be some sort of mine shaft, because there's an opening where he's able to crawl out, and then the cops throw a stick of dynamite down there, hoping that Michael blows up, which is added for this movie. They never threw a stick of dynamite down the shaft in the last movie. So Michael escapes, Jamie attacks her foster mother, and is placed into a mental hospital. And the reason she stabbed her foster mother is not because she adopted her uncle's murderous ways. No, it's because Michael and her share a telepathic link, and Michael was pretty much telepathically telling Jamie to stab her foster mother. The movie's never really clear on this, and I actually had to look that up on Wikipedia. So Jamie's in an institute, she's mute, but Michael returns to Haddonfield to kill her off once again. I mean, I really don't know what to say at this point. It's literally the same movie, minus the stuff that you enjoyed about the fourth one. And even the stuff that was in the fourth one that you enjoyed, it's not as good here. You got Donald Pleasence back as Dr. Loomis, who, let me say this about Donald Pleasence. When you bring him into a movie, he shows up to work. He doesn't half-ass. He pretty much has that mentality that Michael Caine has, where it's just a job, and I'm going to do the best damn job I can. And with this movie here, Loomis does look tired, but you can tell that Donald Pleasence is still giving his all with this character despite the lackluster material they gave him, except for one line in particular, and that line is, "I prayed that he would burn in hell, but I knew that in my heart, hell would not have him." And that's a legitimately creepy way to describe Michael Myers. But again, Donald Pleasence can't really save this movie. Now what about Danielle Harris? Well, she's good with the material she's given, but throughout half of this movie, Jamie is mute, and that just kind of strips away her charisma there. And what about Rachel? Well, she gets killed off. Yeah, so you don't really use one actor to full effect. You have another actor who's playing a mute for half the film, and you kill off the other. So, who are we stuck with in terms of our characters? Well, a good chunk of this movie revolves around Rachel's friends, who are just downright annoying. And all the scenes with them really feel like padding, because they do nothing but play pranks on each other. They even have a Michael Myers mask where they try to scare one another, and it leads to a bunch of cheap cop-outs, where you think Michael Myers is about to kill someone, but it's one of the friends. And they do this so much that it starts to undermine how much of a threat Michael Myers can be, to the point where he actually does show up. You think, oh, this is just another prankster. And then when the characters actually get killed, you're like, who gives a shit? I didn't. Now, speaking of that scene where it feels like it's padded out for time, I was watching this whole movie and thinking, was this a writer's strike movie? Because it feels very underwritten. And after doing some research, the answer is no. The writer's strike that happened in the late 80s was in 88. And in fact, the script for Halloween 4 was turned in minutes before the strike even started. But it's weird that this movie isn't part of a writer's strike, because it definitely has that underwritten feel. Or then again, maybe it's just some terrible writers who don't know what they're doing. And also they add too many things in this movie that don't get resolved at all. Throughout the entire course of the film, we see this guy in a black hat and trench coat walking around, almost like he's stalking the characters and keeping tabs on Michael's actions. We see that Michael Myers has this wrist tattoo of a thorn symbol. The guy in black has the exact same tattoo, and that symbol is spread out in certain portions of the Myers house, which, by the way, looks nothing like the Myers house that you saw in the first movie. How do you location scout a house for exterior shots and it's not even anything close to the original house? But anyway, all that stuff with the thorn and the man in black is never resolved in this movie, and they never even mention it whatsoever. They don't even mention it in the fourth movie, which that one is the beginning of what fans call this the Thorn trilogy, which basically revolves around Halloween 4, 5, and 6. But really, none of this is even mentioned until this movie, and none of it is actually explained, at least attempted to be explained, until the next movie we'll talk about. So, for the most part, it's just another generic slasher movie, and it's not enjoyable. The biggest crime that this movie commits is that it is downright boring. There are a few good moments here and there, but really, you're either bored out of your mind, you're annoyed by the newer characters, or you're just irritated that they don't really do anything with the characters that we liked in the last movie. So I don't have much else to say about this movie. This is really the most uninspired Halloween movie I've seen, so far at least. I still haven't seen Resurrection or Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 as of this recording. But for this, it never made me angry, so I'm just going to say don't waste your money on it. Just watch Halloween 4 again. It's pretty much the same movie, but done a little better, and actually has a very creepy ending, where the ending to this movie is just stupid. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. This movie sucks. And that's my review for Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Next up, I'm going to be talking about the 6th movie, Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers. Which version? Both of them. I'm going to be posting 2 separate videos, one talking about the theatrical cut and the other talking about the producer's cut. They're both going to go up on the same day, just hours apart. So until then, I want to hear what you guys have to say about Halloween 5. If you've seen it, what do you think? Did you actually like Halloween 4 and you're disappointed that this movie ended up being generic? Or do you think I'm crazy for liking Halloween 4, so with this movie you're like, yeah, no duh, it's going to be bad? So just let me know in the comments down below. And until next time, I hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and of course leave a comment. Don't forget to support my Patreon page, follow me on social media, and until next time, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there is only one.